Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another live coding session. Today we're going to build a video player that works on any browser. So, as you might know, I am the maintainer of a Laravel package, Laravel FFmpeg, that can convert all kinds of videos, including converting a video to HLS. I did the stream on that before. So today I'm going to show you how to get that to work in the browser with Video.js, which is an open source video player, an HTML5 player. So let's get started. I've got a fresh Laravel application. You can find the repository in the comments, the demo repository. So here it is. Let me show you PHP Artisan. Scroll to the top. Here it is. Laravel 8.21, and it's just a default application. The only thing I did was added the welcome view. So as you might know, every Laravel application comes with a welcome page that has links to the documentation and to Laracasts, you name it. And so I removed that boilerplate and I included a video subview. So let's open that blade file. It's this one, video.blade.php, and it's just like a really simple HTML5 video element with the source element, and this is the HLS playlist. So yeah, nothing fancy going on. There's no JavaScript yet, and the only thing here is a style sheet, which is just some, I think this is just Tailwind. Yeah. So we've got Tailwind, we've got a little bit of markup, a subview, and when I open Safari, this just works. So Safari got built-in support for HLS, both on the Mac as on iOS. So this is great, but let me open a Firefox for you. And as you see, this doesn't work. So to get this to work, we need a JavaScript library, which can be Video.js. There are all kinds of libraries, but I really like Video.js. And this is gonna work because HTML has a thing called media source extension, I think, where you can build upon that video element you saw, this one. So yeah, let's get started. This is the demo repository that I talked about. And let's navigate to the Video.js documentation. Make it a bit bigger. So I'm going to show you the most simple way to do this, the easiest way. So I'm going to grab the CSS style sheet and paste it into the header, maybe below the Tailwind style sheet. And I'm going to grab the script. So we are loading both the CSS and JavaScript from a CDN. And to get this to work, we need this data setup tag. So let's copy it, paste it into the video element, and let's refresh the demo page. And it kind of works. We already got an image, and I think this is really small probably for you, but it says play video. So when I hit it, it works, but it looks like shit, of course. So what am I missing? The Video.js class on the video element. So I'm gonna grab that one, paste it in, and refresh again. And now it works. So yeah, just within a few minutes, you've got HLS working on Firefox. And it's not really, it's not centered, as you can see. So we've got more space on the left than on the right. And we can fix that by making Video.js fluent. So in this data setup tag, we can, I must change this to single quotes. We can add fluent, fluent, and set it to, oh no, it's not fluent, it's fluid, I think, fluid. Set it to true, hit refresh, and now it's kind of responsive. So that works fine. And another thing that's really weird about Video.js, I think, is this play button that's located in the top left. I have no idea why it's not centered by default. Who wants a play button at the top left? But there's a fix for that as well. We need to add another class, and this class is called Video.js, shortened, and then big play centered. So refresh, and now our button is centered. So yeah, that's working nice. It's got the usual stuff like volume control, full screen control. And you can use all kinds of configuration within that data setup. I will show you in a minute what it really does. So this is the most simple way to get started with Video.js. Let's import Video.js with npm or with Yarn, whatever you prefer. So yeah, you can do this with CDN, but you probably at some point want to import it in your own script. So let's do that. Let's go to the terminal, clear, and let's add Video.js. I'm using Yarn, but you can use npm, of course, whatever you like. So this will take a minute. Let's see. And let's go back. So a Laravel application has this app.js by default, which requires the bootstrap file, which loads Lodash and Axios, and it comes with Laravel Echo boilerplate, but we don't need this. So I'm gonna remove the import from here. And let's see if Yarn is finished. Yeah, it is. So I am gonna import Video.js from Video.js. That's it. And let me see. Let's open Webpack, because we're gonna use Laravel Mix for this, which is basically a wrapper around Webpack. So Javascript, post CSS, and I'm gonna add .version. So we don't have to deal with caching problems. And then of course we need to update the welcome file. So I'm gonna remove the link to the style sheet from the CDN and the script. And let's add our own link to the style sheet. And then use the mix helper. CSS app, I think. And we need to do the same for the JavaScript, of course. So script, source, mix, and then JavaScript app.js. I think that's it. Script. So let's run let's run Laravel mix yarn watch. So now it's going to compile the JavaScript and the CSS. Which reminds me that the CSS is still empty. Yeah, we got 1 byte of CSS. But let's refresh the page and see if this Video.js thing is working. So yeah, kind of. We've got the same problem as before. The JavaScript works, the CSS doesn't, because I forgot to import the Video.js style sheet. So we can do that as well. We can do add import and then Video.js. I think this should work. Yeah, now we've got 44. Refresh again. And now we've got it working without using a CDN. So this is cool. Let me open the inspector to prove that we are only loading local files. Make it a bit bigger. So yeah, this is the HTML. The app CSS with all the Video.js content. App.js with all the Video.js and Webpack stuff. You get the idea. And of course, we're loading the video from the web. So this works fine. Let's move over to Vue. So I'm gonna stop the watcher and let's add Vue to the party. Yep. We are running Laravel Mix version 6, which was released this week. I can show you that in the package.json. Here it is, Laravel Mix version 6. So now we need to add the Vue method. So it's gonna install the compiler, yarn watch. So let me show you that in the documentation. Let's open Laravel Mix. Make this somewhat bigger. So Mix comes with both Vue 2 and Vue 3 support, and you can just add the Vue method to your JavaScript command. So I didn't read this before, but there is also an option to set it to version 2. We'll see if this works. So let's go back to Yarn. Now that Laravel Mix knows we're gonna compile Vue templates, it has added the Vue template compiler and the Vue loader. So it did that, and then we need to run Mix again. So let's do that. Yarn watch. Yes, that works. So let's go to our app.js. And let's start with importing Vue from Vue. New Vue. Give it an element to attach the application to. And we need a component, of course. So before I forget, let's add the app tag, maybe here. App. Yeah, we can close this CSS file. And let's create a new Vue element component. Sorry. So we're calling this one video player dot Vue, and we're gonna import that as well. So import video player from dot video player dot Vue and add it to the components object. So yeah, we can remove this one, Video.js, because we're not going to import it in the app.js file, but within the video player component. So let's do that. Let's add a template and add a script. And this is where we're going to import it. So the template is actually this stuff right here. The blade subview we've used before. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it into the template. So this is not gonna work, but we'll see that in a minute. So, and then of course I need to remove the subview also from the welcome view. So instead of including the blade subview, I'm gonna include the video player. So small recap. We're importing Vue, we're importing our video player component, and then we're setting up a Vue instance with an element of app, which is this one, and then here we are including the video player. So before I don't think this is gonna work, but yeah, let's remove it for now. And let's refresh the page. So at least we have a video player. I'm going to open up the inspector and the Vue DevTools. And sure enough, we've got a video player. Oh, I can't make this any bigger. That's a shame. Well, we've got Vue running. So instead of this data setup, we can also set up Vue ourselves without the magic stuff that comes with the Video.js. So I'm gonna add a reference to this. I'm gonna call this one a video player. And let's add a mounted method to our component. So this is run when the component is mounted successfully. So let's grab the element, the video element, this refs, and then a video player. And let's dump it for now, so you can see what's going on. So whenever the Vue component is mounted, we are grabbing the video element by, oh, sorry about that. We are grabbing the element by its reference. So that's this stuff right here. So now that we've got this, we can create a new player with the Video.js method, which comes from this import right here. So Video.js, and I'm gonna give it the element, and then you can give it a set of options. So we had the fluid before in the data setup, and now you can specify it right here. So fluid true. Let's hit refresh, and now it's working again. So now we've got a Vue component that loads Video.js when it gets mounted. So let's improve this. Let's add a, yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is get rid of this, because we don't want to hard code this source right here. So I'm gonna add a property, props, and we call this one source. So instead of the hard coded URL, we are going to use the source property. And of course, we need to update the welcome page as well. So let's see. Let's hit refresh. And now we've got a video player with a source property. Another thing we could do is add some data, because this is actually going to return a Video.js instance, which can be nice to save, so we can reference it later. So I'm going to add a data property of player, and I'm going to set it to the Video.js player. So now when we hit refresh, I wonder if I can make this any bigger. So we have a property of source. We have the reference to the video element. And now we also have a data property player that holds the Video.js player. So Video.js has all kinds of methods. Let me show you in the documentation. For example, you can maybe you can add event handlers to it. You can call methods on it, like pause and play. I think you can also set the volume. So I don't know if this is gonna work, but at least we can try. Maybe something like this, player.volume, and then 0.5 from the documentation. Yeah, that works. So now we've got half the volume. So this is how you can interact with your player. Let's remove this. So this is great. So now we've got a reusable Vue component. So of course we can duplicate this, and we can maybe add another stream. So I've got it here in my notes. Yep. So this is a stream from another website, from a CDN. You've probably seen it. It's the bunny example. So now we've got two players with two different sources. So there's one thing I want to show you, and that comes from the from the Video.js documentation. Let's see. Maybe in get started. No. So up until now, we've used a video element that is part of the HTML5 set. Where is it? Oh, right, yeah. Here it says in the documentation that you can use a Video.js element instead of video. So why do you want that? Because video is a native HTML5 element, so the browser adds all kinds of controls, like a volume control and a seeker, and yeah, I've never experienced this before, so I always use this video element, but yeah, for some reason there might be friction between Video.js, the player, and the video HTML5 component element. So they are suggesting you replace the video with Video.js, which we're gonna do. So let me show that to you. And let me show you why I do this now and not before. So we're gonna do this, Video.js. Also, let's remove the bunny example. Let's refresh the page. And now we've got an error. So now Vue is complaining unknown custom element. So Vue thinks that this is a Vue component as well, which makes sense because it's within the Vue app. So there's a way to get rid of this error. And that's because Vue has a configuration file, a configuration key that's called ignored elements, which you can give it an array, and you can add the Video.js element. So now when you refresh the page, it does not give you that error. I have one error because the favicon is missing, but that has nothing to do with Vue or Video.js. So if you want to use the Video.js element instead of video, you can do that. It works, but you need to add it to the ignored elements array. So that's it for today. That's everything I wanted to show you. I will make 3 pull requests to the demo repository where you can find all these 3 examples. So the one from the CDN, the one with Laravel mix without Vue, and this one, the Vue app with the video player component. So you can reuse it throughout your app. This one. So thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.